Hello. So recently I have noticed this interesting website named Benebear that allows you to define an image, some text, and some params, and based on this it will generate images for you. So here we've got an image that has a text overlay, that has another image overlaid, and that has some kind of gradient on top and on bottom. And I thought, how can I do something like this with Ruby? Well, there is a nice library named ImageMagick that allows you to manipulate images. It allows you to write text above images, to overlay images, to resize and scale images, and do, well, much more. And to be able to use this ImageMagick library in a comfortable way from Ruby, there is a library named Rmagick, so like Rmagick that helps you interact with ImageMagick. And in this episode, we're going to learn how to use the main functionalities of Rmagick to actually generate images. So what we're going to do, we will have a background image, we will have a couple of sport team logos, and we're going to resize the background image, we're going to add the logos, and we're going to add some text to this image. And in the end, it should look something like this. So this is a screenshot that I've made from Amazon Prime, where they have sports games, and you see each sports game has an automatically generated image where there is a logo of one team, logo of the other team, and there is some kind of potential text. So we are also going to add some text. And well, the cool thing about Rmagick is that we don't actually need Rails to play around with it. We can just go with the Ruby. So here I've created an empty folder. I've opened the folder via the console, and let's try interacting with Rmagick just using Ruby without Rails. So I'll start by creating a new file. I'll name it Rmagick, let's say so, or Rmagick demo, echo Rmagick .rb. Okay, I've created this Rmagick.rb. Let's name it class image generator. Okay, I should have also named the file image generator, but anyway. And to make it work, I will need to install the gem Rmagick. So let's say bundle add Rmagick. Okay, I'll need to create a gem file, echo gem file, and bundle add Rmagick. And you see it has generated a gem file and the gemfile.log. Okay, and inside this Rmagick.rb we'll need to require Rmagick. So yeah, require Rmagick. I'm actually going to say require Rmagick and include magic. Okay. And how can we check if it works? Well, we will try to start by generating a new image. So I will say image equals image new. I will define a width, so let's say 256 pixels, and height 64 pixels. And I will pass in a block. And in the block, I will say that the image background is going to be, for example, yellow. Background color equals yellow. And I will try to write the image, so save it somewhere here. I will say image.write. It is also an Rmagick command, and this image is also an Rmagick command, so it's the same as saying magic image new. And I will name the image as yellow.png. Let's see if it works. I will go to the terminal and say ruby rmagick.rb. And you see it has generated an image named yellow.png. And it actually has the right dimensions as we wanted. Now, to be able to debug this, let's also add the gem pry. I will say bundle add pry. We have added pry, and I will say require pry, and let's try putting a binding somewhere. So binding.pry. Okay, Now I will run ruby rmagick.rb once again, and let's have a look at the image. So image. And you see it's kind of an Rmagick object. So this way we managed to generate an image that is 256 pixels wide, 64 high, and that is yellow. Okay, let's try to see the width or height of this image. Let's say image.rows 64. So rows is the height and columns is the width. Image.columns. Okay, it works. And this way we can generate blank default images with ImageMagick. Now let's try actually reading an existing image. So I will try to import some kind of images. I will import this boys basketball image. I will import the team logos. And let's try reading these images. So I will say image equals image.read, and the path to the image is going to be quite simple. It will be just boys basketball.png. Let's not use the previous code, we don't need it now. And let's put a binding here. So let's run Rmagick. Okay, I should have said image.read. And let's run ruby Rmagick once again. Okay, let's say image. And we see, so the dimensions of the image are here. Looks okay. So we have read an image. We see the dimensions. And what can we do now? We can try to overlay one image upon another image. And for this, we are going to use the Rmagick composite operator. Now, if we go to the docs of Rmagick, we can look for composite. Yeah, sometimes RubyDoc has trouble with loading stuff fast. Anyway, let's find Rmagick composite. And this method allows you to overlay one image upon another image. So we will specify an image, specify a second image, specify a gravity, and the way the pixels should overlay one another. So gravity is an important concept in ImageMagick. So basically, you will want to overlay one image upon another based on something. You can just do it based on like the starting pixel and the ending pixel, but you can also use gravity. That makes life much easier. So if you want to overlay one image upon another just in the center, you would specify center gravity. If you want to make it 200 pixels to the left from the center, you would specify center gravity and minus 200 pixels on the x-axis. So these gravity utilities make it much easier to place stuff in the right spot of an image. Let's try actually using this. So we've got the first image that we read, and let's get a second image. So I will say image2 equals, let's say, Bel Air Cardinals. Okay. And let's try overlaying the second image above the first image. So I will use the composite operator. I will say image equals image.composite. Then I will specify the second image, image2. And then I will specify the gravity. So it's going to be center gravity. And I'm going to specify 0 and 0 for the x and y axis. So 0 and 0, and the composite operator, so the way the pixels blend upon one each other, is going to be the most default one. It's going to be over composite OP. So it is like the just default way of overlaying one image onto another. And let's try saving this image. So I will say image right, logo on background. and let's see if it works. I will fit the binding and run Ruby on Magic once again. And it gave me an error, so image composite didn't work. Let's try debugging this. So I'll put the binding right here. Let's get the first image. Okay, and you see the image is in an array, because Rmagick, when you read something, it will open it in an array by default, and image 2 is also in an array. So I will need to say dot first here and dot first here, so that we read them not as an array, but as an actual like just object. I'll switch the binding off, quit, and start once again. And you see it has generated a new image, logo on background. And if we open it, we see that we've got the background image and we've got a small logo in the middle. Now you see the scale doesn't look really nice because this image of this of the team logo is much smaller than the by the dimensions than the background image. So we will want to scale or resize the background image. We want to either decrease the size of the background image or increase the size of the team logo. But as these are all pixels, increasing the size is going to distort the image and make it look not really nice. So let's better decrease the size of the background image. And how can we do it? Let's use the scale method. So I'm going to rescale the image. Let's go to the binding and try doing this. So we have image, and I will say image.scale 0.5. And you see the new image object is well, twice smaller by height and by width. Let's see if it helps us. Let's actually make it not 0.5 but 0.25. Okay, so I will say image equals image.scale 0.25. Now I will quit and run the generator once again, and it should regenerate this image. Let's see. Okay, continue. Okay, quit. Yeah, so I didn't need the binding, but anyway, you see that the background image has been resized, and proportional to the new size of the background image, the logo looks bigger. So it's already nicer. Now, what if we want to place two logos and we don't want well, them to be placed on top of each other, but we want them both to be based on the center of the image? Well, we are going to change these values, the x value or the y value. Let's try moving the x value by minus 200 pixels and see what it gives us. So I will write ruby rmagick.rb once again, and you see the image of the team logo has been placed in another place. Looks quite good to me. Now let's also read the second image. So we've got this Kashmir fight in Rams. Let's also add it to our new game image, where we will have the background and two logos. So I will say image 3 equals image read, and we'll specify the name of the image. And let's also place the third image onto the canvas of the main image. But it will be not minus 200 by the x-axis. So you see, we've got the center of the image. We decided on center gravity and previously put minus 200 pixels from the center. And now we are going to put plus 200 pixels from the center. And you see, now we are adding two images to the main image. Now let us rerun the script. And you see, it has rewritten this logo on background image, and now we have two logos on the main image. So looks quite good to me. Now let's try placing some text. So like team versus team, or something on top or something on the bottom. Now to write text we will need something like draw. So we'll need to add a draw object. Let's say text equals magic draw.new, and we'll specify some text variables. So let's say text.fill equals, let's make it, I don't know, white or blue, or we can add some kind of hex. Let's select some kind of color, for example, pink. So we've got the text fill. We'll add the point size, so the size of the text. Let's say text.point size equals, let's say 48. And let's try writing this text. So to write the text, we will need to use the method annotate. So Rmagick annotate. So see, it is part of this draw class, and that's why we need to instantiate magic draw, based on which we are going to annotate. So I will say text.annotate, and we're going to annotate the image, so the main image, and we are going to specify some variables. Let's try specifying the gravity. Yeah, I forgot to specify the gravity. Let's say text.gravity equals center gravity. And now we're going to say text.annotate image, now width, height, x, y, and the text itself. So I will say 0, 0, 0, 0, and I'm going to add that text. Let's make it versus. So team versus team. And let's see if it works. Now let's have a look at our image, and I will try to rerun the script. And you see, it has added this versus in the middle. So it looks quite nice to me. Now what have we done? We have instantiated this magic draw. We have added some variables like the color of the text, the size of the text, the center gravity, so that we want to make it based on the center of the image. Also, we have set text.annotate, so we are adding this text to our main image. We are not moving it by the width, height, x, y, and here is the text that we are adding. So this is basically how you can add the text. Now let's try writing text in maybe another part of the image. For example, on the top left. So how can we do it? Let's say text.gravity will be what our gravity is, northwest gravity. So northwest gravity. Let's try writing the same kind of text and see what it gives us. So see, it gave us the text on the northwest gravity. And you see there is a bit of padding on the top, because this is the padding generated by the size of the container of the text itself. Maybe we want to move it 5 pixels down and 5 pixels up. So let's make it like padding 5. To do this kind of padding 5, I would update the x and y arguments. Let's make it 5 and 5. And let's regenerate the image. So I go to ruby.rmagick.rb, and you see it has added 5 pixels padding from the top and from the bottom. Okay, now let's actually change the size of this image. What if we want it to be Twitter sized image. So Twitter ideal image size. Okay, let's make it 600 pixels by 335 pixels. So we will make this image of a somewhat different size. Either this or... let's see what we have here. Twitter. So 1600 by 900. Okay, one of these. I will maybe select the bigger one. And what are we going to do? So if we want our image to be this scale, we will have to resize the image at some point. At the moment we are just decreasing the size, but we will want to not just decrease the size, but change it by some specific pixels. So how are we going to do this? Instead of just using scale 0.25, we can try scaling the image by some pixels. So let's open the scale docs. So scale. Okay, and you see, previously we defined a scale factor that can be either 0.5 or 0.25 as we made it, or it can be bigger. And we can also do it by the quantity of pixels, so new width and new height. So let's try scaling by 1600 to 900. And let's see what it gives us. Let's run the script. And you see, the image proportions have been kind of made not really nice. So the guys are like this on the image. So this kind of scaling doesn't really work nicely. We don't want to scale by specific pixels. We want to resize the image to fit some kind of proportions. And that's why instead of just scaling, we will try to resize to fit. So let's try using Rmagick, resize to fit. And with this resize to fit, we're going to specify either a new width or a new height. And the other part of the image is going to be scaled proportionally. So let's try doing it. I will add a binding here and see what it gives us. Ruby Rmagick, image.resize to fit. We'll specify only the width, so 1600 and 0. And you see, the bottom of the image has been scaled proportionally. So it's not 900, it is 1200. Continue. Okay, quit. And let's have a look at the new image. Okay, I think it wasn't generated. I will go and say image scale. No, actual image resize to fit 1600 and 0. And the 0 is going to be replaced proportionally by the image dimensions, so that we don't kind of disproportionately scale the image. So let's see. I will run the script. And I don't think it changed much. Let's try once again. Let's make it like 800. And let's run the script. Okay, this is much more visible. So, well, let's leave it at 1600 and let's see. So here's our image. The VS is on top, and we actually want it to be like 1600 by 900. We will want to crop a bit of the top and a bit of the bottom, so that the size of the image stays the one that we want for Twitter, 1600 by 900. Now it is 1600 by 1200 because of the proportions of the image, because we kept the proportions of the image using resize to fit. So we will want to crop a bit on the top and crop a bit on the bottom. And to do this, we are going to use image.crop. And let's say image equals image.crop. And crop is also an interesting method. So Rmagick crop, because we don't have to actually specify the quantity of pixels that we want to crop from any side. We can also use it with gravity. So we can crop based on gravity. Let's say we'll say that the center of the image is central gravity, and we are going to crop, let's say 800 pixels width around the center and 400 pixels height from the center. So we would cut out the central focus of the image. Let's try doing that. You see, we have the crop with gravity, width of the image that we want to generate, and height. And importantly, we will say reset true, not false. I'll show you why now. So I will say image.crop. Then the gravity is going to be center gravity. Then the width is going to be, let's say 1600. Let's say 600, we'll take the smaller one, by 335. And we are not going to specify this reset thing for now. So let's crop the image and run the script. So ruby rmagick.rb, and you see the image has been cropped. But where is the text on top? Well, the text on top is not present because we cropped without saying reset true. And the top image was, so this image with northwest gravity, or the text with northwest gravity, was put in an invisible part of the image, in a cropped part of the image. So we want to use the new dimensions of the image, that's why we're going to say true. We are resetting the height and the width of the image to make all the further manipulations based on the new height and width. So if I specify true here, and rerun the script, then this other VS text is placed in the right place. Now, I really don't like this focus of the image. Let's make it, again, let's say 1600 by 900, and see what it looks like. And you see we've cut a bit on top and we've cut a bit on the bottom, and it looks quite good. So we've managed to write text in different parts of the image. We've managed to put images on top of an image. We've managed to scale and resize an image. And I think these are all the basic, most important features of Rmagick. And based on this, you can already do a lot of manipulations and generate lots of automatic images in your application. So thanks for being with me, and goodbye.